So today is the final goodbye to FM21 on this channel, and we're ending things with a slightly different video from what you're used to if you've just been watching me over here on the Dortmund save. This is going to be a video summing up my Champions League winning Aston Villa team from the very first video on this channel that I've been using over on Twitch. We're going to be summing up the final season here today and find out whether we actually managed to win the Premier League in those 4 seasons. Hi there guys, and welcome to Stubo FM. I'm Stubo. Thank you very much for joining me on the final FM21 video you're going to be seeing on this channel, and it's going to be the final video you're going to see with my Aston Villa team. Admittedly, on YouTube, it's only the second video you've seen with Aston Villa. The first one being the very first video on this channel when I somehow, inexplicably, took Villa to a Champions League final in their second season, in the first season that they were in the Champions League for. I know, it was utter madness, but I've joined you on the schedule because I don't want to spoil what happened this season, because a lot of things have happened, and yeah, I want to try and hide it as best as I can. So there is a spoiler on this screen which I, if I remember to in the edit, should be hiding, so hopefully I will be hiding it. But if you have enjoyed the content you have seen on this channel so far, if you enjoyed the Dortmund save and you enjoyed the first video I put on this channel, and indeed if you enjoy this one, please leave a like on the video and please consider subscribing to the channel as well for more Football Manager goodness. Football Manager 22 is just around the corner, and I will be starting with my first save on there very soon. So without any further ado, let's get into a bit of a season and save review, shall we? So for those of you who don't know, we've had a lot of success at Aston Villa in this save. So I'm going to take you very briefly through the different seasons. So bear with me one moment. Okay, so I've brought you to the schedule for season 1. I'm not going to go over anything in major detail. We didn't win any trophies in the first season, but if I just scroll through, you can see we had a lovely, lovely time. Highlights being a win against Liverpool. We beat Arsenal. I think there was a couple of games against Chelsea and Tottenham near the beginning of the season. Yeah, I think this is around the time where I started streaming, perhaps somewhere in this area. It might have been a bit further on, actually. But we did very, very well in some of the games, and we had a great run for the season. Bearing in mind I'm playing with Aston Villa, mostly an unchanged side. We added Thiago Almada, we added a couple of other lads on loan. It was mostly the main side, and as you can see, Ollie Watkins scored goals for absolute days. If I click on this and show you that season down here, that was the season here. 26 goals in 35 appearances. He won the Golden Boot for Aston Villa in that season. We'll not talk about his other 2 seasons, but he did very, very well for us. And we actually ended up around here in the run for the title. I'll show you the title. The title. I'll show you the Premier League table from that season in a second. But as you can see, we had a very, very, very good season. And I'm going to cut to the table now. Again, I'm going to try and cut stuff so you don't see anything that will give away how we've done this season. So, and there is the league table. And as you can see, we finished 8 points off of the top, which were mainly the 2 losses and the draw against, I can't remember, it was Liverpool was the draw, and Man United and Arsenal were the last 2 games of the season. Manchester United actually lifting the title at Villa Park, which really did not make me very happy. I did that on stream and it wasn't very good. I wasn't very happy about that at all. But as you can see, we did very, very well in season 1. Season 2, we did even better. We finished second. Now, Liverpool were dominant in this year, and to be honest with you, we scraped home into the Champions League spots, as you can see. Well, by the end of it, we actually were confirmed, but we actually managed to get second on the final day or final 2 days of the season. We did very, very well. If I show you the schedule from this season, actually. So you can see at the start of the season, actually, things were a little bit up and down. Wasn't particularly as good as we could have expected. We didn't do very well in some of these Premier League games right at the beginning, actually. But then we hit the Champions League, and we kind of took off a little bit, beating Shakhtar. We did lose to Bayern Munich, but we got 3 goals past them, which was pretty good. Drew against Milan. In the second half of the campaign, we did better. Yes, we lost to Shakhtar, but then we absolutely battered Bayern Munich 4-0, and we even beat Milan 3-0 as well. So we got through our Champions League group, which was fantastic. All of the other results in the Premier League, you can see we did very, very well indeed. Goals coming in from Amine Gouiri, who was a fantastic signing for us. He was our star striker for Season 2 and Season 3. Yanis Hadji as well. Trust me, we're going to come back to him. And you won't see Jack Grealish's name pop up too often because actually, after Season 1, he wasn't very good for us. But again, we'll talk about the players in a bit. When we get to the halfway point of the season, we're doing very well. No domestic trophies won this season. But if you've seen the first video that was on this channel, you'll know what happened at the end of the season. I'm just not going to dwell. I'm just going to cut right to it. We actually won the Champions League. We're going to ignore these games in the Club World Cup because I'll talk a little bit about that when I'm talking about Season 3. But as you can see, wins are plenty, draws are plenty, not many losses. We beat Liverpool in the Champions League final. If you want to see more on that, go back to the very first video on this channel if you've not already. It is the highlight from the stream. I've just edited it down a little bit so it's a little bit more digestible for you guys to watch on here. But if you want to see that, it is available. But as you can see, we had a fantastic season. Everything was fantastic. Everything was wonderful. And yeah, we had some very, very good players come in and do some good jobs for us. Which brings us on to Season 3. Season 3 was a little bit heartbreaking. As you can see, we finished 4 points off the top. And honestly, we have ourselves to blame for that. Liverpool were under the cosh at the top of the table. We had games in hand on them, and we let those games in hand slip. Now, we still finished second by some margin. It was a two-horse race. As you can see, both Liverpool and us lost the exact same amount of games. It was the draws that got us. There's a couple of draws in there that were frustrating. In fact, quite a few of them. Wolves near the end of the season cost us, in my opinion, along with another result which I'll talk about in a moment. But Wolves, Southampton, Bournemouth, Watford, all games we should have been winning. Even the Manchester City game was one we could have won. And then losses, there's one big one there that definitely cost us. It was the Liverpool, well actually two you can look at. The Liverpool game and the Wolves game. We didn't turn up for that last Liverpool game. We absolutely did not turn up whatsoever. So we ended up finishing second in this season. As you can see with the results in this season though, we did start off quite well. We'll ignore the Club World Cup. We did get battered 4-1 by Liverpool in the quarter-final, but it was a bonus we were in the quarter-final anyway. But we did, however, beat Liverpool for the Community Shield. Yay! Fantastic. Jack Grealish flattering to deceive early on. Nikola Milenkovic getting 2 goals in 2 games. We did draw against Watford at the opening day of the season as well. But we did pretty well after that, except for the Champions League. We actually opened our Champions League campaign. Before that, we won a second trophy this season, the UEFA Super Cup. Double yay! So we were 2-time cup winners before the season had really got underway as the reigning Champions League winners. We had a very good start. But then we went to Lille. Well, actually, Lille came to us in Champions League. We drew against them. We then lost against Red Bull Salzburg, which was very disappointing at their place. But then we beat Copenhagen. We then had Copenhagen again in the kind of the second round of the group stage games, beat them, and then we drew against Lille. That left us in a precarious position in the Champions League where we actually needed to win, and we didn't. We lost against Red Bull Salzburg, which dropped us into the Europa League, which wasn't ideal. Now, you're probably looking at this schedule and thinking, Stu, what's going on over here? What's going on with the lack of games in November and December? It was the World Cup year, so actually during this period we put in a bunch of friendlies. If I turn on no competition, you can see, if I go down to here, we put in a load of friendlies to keep the players who were not involved in international competition up to speed with things. I stand by that decision. I think it was a good thing to do. That was the wrong thing to do, Stu. You're not doing things very cleverly here. But yeah, we did that, and then where are we now? So back to December. So we then get into January. We still have a very good run. We lose against Manchester United in the league. We actually lose the Efl Cup semi-final against Manchester City at Old Trafford. Why at Old Trafford? Why not at Old Trafford? I don't know. But it was a one-legged affair. Some of the early Champions League knockout games were one-legged affairs as well, just because of the World Cup. Nothing was drawn out. But as you can see, we battered Midtjylland 8-0. We then went through against Tottenham in the FA Cup. We then beat Lazio 1-0. I think that was the one-legged affair. Yes, it was. A bit of a tense one, but it was in the Europa League. We did very, very well. We get through in the league as well. We continue this run of form. Around here, we have 2 games in hand on Liverpool, and we're only a couple of points behind them. We have the chance, if we win those games in hand, to be clear of Liverpool by more than 3 points, which would have been massive. But we drop points against Wolves here. We carry on a great run, but Liverpool carry on as well. We then get knocked out of the FA Cup in the semi-final. Philip Alayu, our English wonder kid, scoring the equalising goal to get us late onto penalties. We then beat Leicester, beat Fulham. We destroy Pep Guardiola's Sevilla in the Europa League semi-final first leg. We then lose to Liverpool, which was the cataclysm of our season. This is where everything started to fall apart. The loss against Liverpool meant that, along with the draw against Wolves here, all of a sudden, those games in hand were starting to chip away. And obviously, because Liverpool won against us, not only did we not close the gap, they increased it, which was not ideal. And then we lost against Wolves again. I say again, we dropped points against Wolves again, but this time we lost, and this is what did us in for the Premier League. Title was over at this point, but we did go through against Sevilla in the Europa League semi-final second leg. We then lost against Manchester United, and any hope we had of winning the title went with that result as well. We then beat West Ham, Newcastle, Bournemouth, Crystal Palace as the final games of the season, and we did end up lifting a third trophy for the season in the Europa League final against RB Leipzig, which was glorious. Which brings us to this season. If you've been watching me on stream, you will know what happened up till about, I don't know, September, maybe the beginning of October. So I'm going to take you through those results now. So here we go. So here we are. I'm going to show you the results first and then show you the table afterwards. Again, if I remember to do this in the edit, I should be hiding what the result was, because it will say in the very top corner, I don't quite know how my camera's going to point, but in one of the top corners, near, like in the middle somewhere, where it says schedule at the top of the screen, it will say in Premier League. I'm going to try and block that so you can't see it. But as you can see, we started the season in indifferent form. We lost against Manchester United, and then we lost the UEFA Super Cup that we won last season against Borussia Dortmund, who won the Champions League last season. Keep Dortmund in mind. We then won a couple of games, not necessarily convincingly, but we did win. We then drew against Everton. At this point, I decided to change tactics. We were a 4-3-3 gegenpressing team up until this point. We then used this international break between the 2nd of September and the 16th of September to train a new tactic. We went with a vertical tiki-taka. We went with a 4-2-3-1 as well, which I had not really used that much. I'd experimented with, but not used it a lot. So we went with that. It was the best thing we could have done, because as you can see, yes, we lose here against Leicester. Yes, we draw against Crystal Palace. But, and we draw against Manchester City as well. But we get a lot of good results. There's a 6-0 against Salzburg, revenge from the season before. There's a 5-1 against Salzburg, more revenge. Revenge is a dish best served with lots of goals, I've found. We just do very, very well, and I'm very impressed with us. Good run of results, including a win over Premier League champions Liverpool. This had me starting to believe, because when we started the season, we were in 5th, 6th. Around the Liverpool result, we all of a sudden were in the top 3, and we were very close, points-wise, to Liverpool and Manchester United, who themselves were very close as well, and we got ourselves within range of them. We then, as the season started to go on, noticed that they started to draw a couple more games. They lost 1 or 2 games, and we got to the end of December really believing we might be in with a shot with this. This is stuff you guys won't have seen, so I apologise I haven't got a lot of footage. Some of the key games I'll show you some of the goals and stuff, but we get to here thinking, if we can carry on winning the way that we have done, which is a tall order, we might be in with some luck. So we go into January. We win in the Premier League against Liverpool. I then believe we have an FA Cup game against Charlton. We do, 6-0. We then had the EFL Cup semi-final against Arsenal. First leg, and we win 1-0. Yusuf Moukoko with a very important goal. We then go to Manchester United. I say go to Manchester United. I think they... Yeah, no, we do go to Did we go to Manchester United? Hang on, let me look. Whoop. Yeah, we go to Manchester United. So we go to Manchester United. We go to Old Trafford for our return game in the Premier League, and we smashed them 3-0. This put us into seconds, and this effectively killed off United's season. All of a sudden, they dropped off completely. Results started to fall away from them. They started not to have the consistency that they had over the last few seasons. So, we are now second. We're chasing down Liverpool. We continue to have very, very good results. We then go to Arsenal and smashed them 5-0 at the Emirates. Don't know where that result came from, considering how tight the first leg of the EFL Cup was, but we absolutely smashed them. It was a glorious thing to see. We then beat Everton as well, and then we go to Blackburn and win 6-0. Then we have the second leg of the EFL Cup. after the FA Cup game. I've recorded this video like 3 times already, and I keep getting that same mistake in there. We win against Leeds in the FA Cup. We then go and draw against Arsenal in the second leg of the EFL Cup, which means we get to our first domestic final in the save. It's the EFL Cup, which I know not a lot of people like. I have a soft spot for it. It's the last trophy that Aston Villa won during my lifetime, unless you count the Intertoto Cup, which I do not. And we've reached the final in like the last 10-15 years. We've reached the final a couple of times as well. So I have a bit of a connection with that trophy. I really wanted to win that, and I'll show you who the opposition were when we get to it. But we do get through to the final of that. We finish off the month of January and we go into February. Now, February starts with a win against Norwich, 5-1. Lovely stuff. We then go to... Well, we then have Newcastle visit Villa Park and we smash them 3-0. All the while, we're getting results. Liverpool are still getting results as well. But they are also dropping points every now and then. And I can't remember exactly when it is, but at some point we went top and everything was lovely. Everything was glorious. We then go to the Bernabeu and we draw against Real Madrid in the first leg of the Champions League, first knockout round. Philipp Alayu, who I will talk about more when we get to talking about players, getting the goal in the 89th minute that gives us a crucial away goal for the second leg. Philipp Alayu is one of the players of the save. He's not the player of the save, but Philipp Alayu is definitely in contention. Certainly young player of the save is what I would give him. We then had Leicester come and visit us and get a 5-0 thrashing for the trouble. We then also played Watford, 4-1. Philipp Alayu getting his first ever hat-trick for the club as well, which was a glorious thing to see. Then I believe we have the FA Cup, but I could be wrong. I am wrong, because we had the EFL Cup Final. I'm just going to scoot that up so you can't see it. EFL Cup Final at Wembley against, of all of the teams, West Bromwich Albion. One of our local rivals. Makes the Cup Final even bigger. How did we do against that? I'll tell you how. Beat them 6-0. Hadji scoring 2 goals. Tonali, Alayu, Makoko and Tomori scoring the other ones. We're going to play the highlights here. I had recorded this with some commentary. As you will see while I'm talking, however, I did make a very rookie mistake. I might have forgot to unmute the microphone. So you ended up with footage of the game without me responding to it whatsoever. Well, without me verbally responding to it. My mouth was moving, but nothing was happening. The lights were on, but no one was home. So we're going to watch the goals together here in a post-commentary fashion instead. So let's have a look at these, shall we? That is a very good representation of our starting 11 throughout the season. And to be honest with you, some of these players have been absolutely fantastic. Tonali gets the ball over to here. Cucurella whips it in. Hadji gets himself into the right area as that attacking midfielder and buries it. Hadji then, with a Hadji special, he's a masterful free kick taker. He's scored a few like that throughout the season, and he makes it 2 in spectacular fashion. Calabria then floats it over to Sandro Tonali, who decides, do you know what? I want to score a worldie as well. And he does and makes it 3-0. Into the second half, and then Declan Rice gets it out wide to Davide Calabria, who gets to Alayu. Alayu does like a weird little scissors kick motion, makes it 4-0 against a local team. He's a Birmingham lad. That must have meant the world to him. Emi Buendia gets it through to Yusufa Makoko, who buries the ball, makes it 5. Or does he make it 4? I think he made it 5, and then Fikayo Tomori from Hadji's free kick makes it 6. So Yanis Hadji with an assist and 2 goals. When I say Yanis Hadji has been the best player of this save, that's what I mean. Contributes with goals, contributes with assists, turns up in big games. This was a derby and a cup final, and he turned up in it. Fantastic. Couldn't be happier with it. So on we move from the EFL Cup Final, and then we have the next round of the FA Cup. We beat Cardiff 3-0. A slightly rotated team. Did very well. We won 3-0 against Championship opposition. We then had Manchester City come to Villa Park. We beat them 1-0 with the Yanis Hadji penalty. And then we needn't to worry about the away goal because we smashed Real Madrid 3-0 in the second leg of the Champions League first knockout round. You'll note as well, if you take the Champions League games out during this run, well, any of the cup games for that matter, we're on a long run of wins at this point. I hadn't noticed how we'd kept winning at this point because of the cup games coming in. And there's only a couple where we've dropped points. Well, we would have dropped points if they were league games. A couple of games where we'd drawn. So we were doing very well. We carried on. Crystal Palace, another good win, 3-0. Watford in the FA Cup quarter-final, we kind of breezed past them as well. We then had a game against Tottenham and we beat them 3-0, followed by Champions League quarter-final against Liverpool, the old enemy of the save. If you've watched my Dortmund season and series finale, you'll know that I called Liverpool the old enemy. They have been the enemy in this save. They have been the team that either we have been thwarting or they have been thwarting. We have been massive rivals. And we got a 1-1 draw at Anfield. Nikola Milenkovic turning up with from what I can remember, was a towering header from a corner. He did like to turn up with a few goals like that, which was glorious to see. Very, very, very good showing from him. We then moved on and beat Burnley, and then we smashed Liverpool in the second leg 5-0. This was a ridiculous performance. Philip Alayu getting a header, 2 of the goals, and quite a few of his goals actually, because he plays as an inverted winger on the left-hand side. But he's 6 foot tall and he's got good stats for jumping and heading. So the right winger would cross the ball over, he would have drifted inside, and he's just there to nod the ball home as an extra forward. It kind of was more playing like an inverted forward, an inside forward. But actually, he was on an inverted winger setting, and playing him on an inside forward didn't really work. So inverted winger just did that job well for him, and he got a hat-trick. 2 of the goals were from that, and the third one was a little bit of class from him as well. Fantastic performance from him. We then beat Chelsea 6-3 in the FA Cup semi-final. At this point, I'd actually kind of skipped over the fact we'd got to another final, another domestic cup final. And although I said about the EFL Cup how that means a lot to me, the FA Cup is a huge trophy. So for me to get this Villa team to an FA Cup trophy, or potentially an FA Cup trophy, because spoilers, I'm not going to tell you whether we won it yet, but I have played the game, was incredible. I did not expect it whatsoever. Fantastic. We then beat them in the league 2-0 as well, which was great. And then we beat Wolves 5-1. All of this time, we actually end up with a 4-point gap from Liverpool. We then have Manchester United come to us for the semi-final of the Champions League. Very reminiscent to the season where we won the Champions League. Because in that run-in, we had Manchester United and Liverpool in our knockout rounds. Now, Liverpool were in the final, and Man United were a little bit earlier on, I think. I think they were the quarterfinals. But still, kind of eerie. But we do get past them 3-1. Ianis Hadji with 2 more big goals. Big match Hadji, as I like to call him. We then had West Ham 2-0, which was another fantastic result. And then Manchester United in the second leg, things get a bit hairy. They scored that away goal, and they were 2-0 up until the 81st minute, where we actually scored and got ourselves through with that extra goal. If we had not have scored that goal, we would have been out of the Champions League at the semi-final. Not that this season was about the Champions League. I said at the beginning, it was all about the league and what we could do. So, everything's going gloriously, but we have a game against Liverpool coming up. It's not this one, though. We beat Leeds 2-0 to set up the tie against Liverpool, and we lose it. Remember, 4 points was the gap before this game. This brought it down to 1. Virgil van Dijk with the goal. I'm going to show you the goal. It was in the 87th minute. As you can see, we had plenty of yellow cards. We were very much on the back foot. The defence had a better rating than this before the goal. They were having such a good effort in defending, trying to stop the barrage of Liverpool coming forward. We did have chances in this game, and we did our best to try and nullify them, but it's a little bit heartbreaking, this goal, because it's something we're normally very good at, which is defending set pieces. Obviously, it's Virgil van Dijk. You probably guessed it's probably going to be from a set piece. It's from a corner. Van Dijk gets clear of his man and just nods it in the back of the head. The back of the net. If he did it with the back of his head, I'd be even more impressed. But a little bit heartbreaking for us, if I'm being completely honest with you. But it is what it is, and we moved on. So, we lose against Liverpool. We have 1 game of the season left, and it's against Reading. What I'm going to try and do is I'm going to try and show you either some highlights of the game or at least the goals from the game without trying to spoil the result. I'm aware the result normally comes up in the top corner when you do the highlights. So I'm going to try and do that just to hide exactly what happened in this game. You know, it's either going to be good or it's either going to be painful. I don't know whether you can tell from my expression, but something happens, and we're going to find out together. So, Reading versus Villa. It's at Villa Park. If we win the title. We lift it in front of our home fans. Fingers crossed we do. Let's show you some of the footage from that game. Okay, I've got us down as watching extended highlights. I've tried to disguise things as best as I can. There's actually quite a lot of information on here telling you what happened in the game. But as you can see, we have an early opportunity very early on. And the longer we go, again, a save here. The longer we go without putting the ball in the back of the net, the more concerned I got. And they started to have a few chances as well. This is in the 7th minute. They whip it over, and everyone kind of misses it. But just the fact that we're letting them get into these dangerous positions had me really worried. I mean, we're letting them have little spells of possession and having opportunities like that. I was getting really worried at this point. And it's one of those things. We should beat Reading. Reading at this point were already relegated. We did not have any real fear against a team like this if there was nothing on the line. The fact that the title was on the line really made me start to sweat. It's also worth pointing out at this point that Liverpool on the final day of the season played Spurs, which is a team that they could easily beat. Spurs, I don't think we're as bad as they are in real life at the moment. No offence, Spurs fans. But, oh, Jesus Christ. But they certainly were not the force that they could potentially be with some of the players they've got. And we really did struggle to break this Reading team down. A Reading team with nothing but pride to play for. And every time we'd give the ball away, they would just start to counter us. We did play Reading earlier in the season, and we did beat them. Tactical foul there from Declan Rice. We did beat them, but they did make it hard work. So this is not necessarily out of character. But we do struggle a little bit to try and break them down, and we do give the ball away quite a bit, which was a bit disappointing. You see Almiron running down their left wing, whips it in, and they head it over. Kakir not having to do much there. Ball's whipped in here. Fikayo Tomori can't get on the end of it. Declan Rice gets it to Tomori. Tomori whips it in, and watch this. Bang! Nikola Milenkovic with the goal that, if things stay as they are at this point, we're winning 1-0. Liverpool at this point, I believe, we're 0-0 still. This means we win the title. What a goal it was. See, we had another chance there as well. I was hoping this meant that the floodgates were going to open. Rice goes back to Tomori. Tomori lifts it forward to Hadji. Hadji flicks it onto Daka. Daka to Grealish. Grealish goes past his man, has the shot, gets blocked. At some point in this first half, however, Liverpool go ahead. Liverpool going ahead is the worst thing that could possibly happen. Hadji with the shot from range there. That would have been a lovely goal if it went in. Liverpool winning basically means if we were to concede a goal and draw 1-1, 1-1's not enough. Torres puts it wide there as well. We need, if Liverpool win, to beat Reading. We can't rely on 1 point. We cannot rely on it whatsoever. Patson Daka, however, is in. And again, it's saved. Around this point, I was starting to get that feeling of this isn't going to go our way. This is going to be what happened in Season 1, in Season 3. We thought we were going to get there. We thought we had a chance at the title, and we're going to bottle it. I really had a fear at this point that that is exactly what was going to happen. Declan Rice gets it out wide to James Justin. Justin into Torres. Torres, poor pass, and we give it away again, and they try and counter-attack. Fortunately, Milenkovic is having none of that. Torres gets it into Tonali. Tonali looking for options, drives forward, gets it to Jack Grealish. Grealish in the box. Grealish trying to do something, but Aguirre makes the foul. I say Aguirre, I think it's Aguirre. Makes the foul, the referee goes to check the little telly, consults the little man in his ear as well, and the result of it is that we get a penalty. The thing didn't come up, I was expecting the thing to come up, and it was Big Match Angie to come up and try and make it 2-0. Did he succeed? Of course he did. It's Big Match Angie. Occasionally he misses penalties, but this is not one of those days. He even did a cartwheel to celebrate. At this point, I started to relax a little bit. Not too much, because it doesn't mean anything. 2-0 could easily be bottled, especially when it's in the first half. But I start to relax a little bit. I start to feel myself enjoying the experience a little bit more. And this was at about 2 o'clock in the morning, it's worth pointing out. So I actually did originally record the footage, but it was really choppy because my computer, although it can more than handle Football Manager 2021 in all of its glory, it had been on for a good few hours with the game. It had played a lot of football and it was starting to struggle a little bit. So I ended up deciding not to show you that footage because it was very choppy. I imagine this is not going to be as choppy as it is. Hadji goes for a Hadji special. It doesn't quite work out. Gets the ball, drives it in the box, doesn't find anyone. But Almiron kindly returns it to Hadji. But he kindly passes it back to Cyprien in the middle. Second half, we're 2-0 up. Everything's glorious, and we're hoping we can potentially increase our lead just in case, because 2-0 is still a bit of a dicey lead. Hadji then drives into the middle, doesn't get fouled actually, just gets tackled and the highlight ends, which is a bit of a weird highlight. Liverpool at this point still 1-0 up against Spurs. Spoilers, they win the game 1-0. I'll let you know that right now. So basically, our task is simple. We cannot let Reading get back into this game. And the longer we went without scoring a second goal, the third goal, the more I was thinking to myself, we're going to bottle this completely. We're going to concede 2 goals. Liverpool are going to win the title by like 2 points or whatever it would be. And I'm going to be heartbroken. And we've had so many chances that have been put wide or saved. But then Patson Daka shows up, makes it 3. And at this point, I finally started to believe we might just be winning the Premier League title in Season 4, in the final season. Thank the Lords for Patson Daka and that finish. If we hold on. Obviously, there's still a lot of the game to go, still an hour to go. I thought we'd given away a penalty there, but it turns out Fikayo Tomori timed his tackle perfectly. But we do let them get into the box, and we have to kind of scramble it clear. We're 3-0 up, but we're still panicking a bit, because we know any slip from us costs us the title. Whips in, Milenkovic clears it, gets it to Ferran Torres. Torres just holds onto the ball, runs around onto the right wing, looking for the perfect option. Can he find the perfect option? The answer to that is no, he can't. Ferran Torres, great player at times, frustrating in others. Aguiar throws it, but it just goes to Iyer. And Jack Grealish just sprints onto the ball, but heavy touch means Gregory gets it anyway. Big ball over, Kakir deals with it. 66th minute, and we are starting. The more time that passes now, the more I'm relaxing, the more I'm thinking to myself, this is finally the moment. We are going to win the Premier League. Liverpool are still 1-0. I'm getting excited. I'm feeling it's going to happen. Patson Daka, Ferran Torres into Grealish. No one can get the ball in the back of the net here. And then Iverson whips it out, but actually gives the ball straight away. Daka's pushed very wide. I'm thinking, no way he scores here. And correct, there's no way he scores there. But still 3-0. Still looking very, very exciting. Still looking very, very good. But defensively, a little bit shaky. That's been our thing the entire save, really. The defence has never really been fully solid. The amount of chances Patson Daka wasted in this game was actually infuriating, and on another day he would have been subbed. Unfortunately, our starting striker Yusufa Moukoko was currently injured, and the only backup we had was Tammy Abraham, who really was not good enough. Milenkovic, for some reason, was forward there. I don't really know why, but he was forward, he had a chance, didn't really take it. Tonali puts the ball in. Alayu, Patson Daka, goal. 4-0. Ladies and gentlemen, we're bringing the title home. There is nothing at this point Liverpool can do. We would have to concede 4 goals in 15 minutes in order to completely and utterly bottle this. As you can see, we're in the 90th minute. I'm taking the stuff away now. It's 4-0 at the top. There's nothing that we can do that's going to ruin this game. We've won the game at this point. We know we have. And we're just waiting for the referee to blow that final whistle to let us lift that Premier League trophy. We're just waiting. Tonali commits a little foul there just to, waste a little bit of time. Gets his yellow card. I think that's the last action of the game. We're looking at the top of the screen. But yeah, we're just waiting for the referee to blow his whistle so we can lift our trophy. Reading go for one more attack here, but the tie is over. They're just playing for pride at this point. But there's no shame in losing against a team that's fighting for the title. There's no shame in it whatsoever. Jack Grealish pings the ball over to Patson Daka. I'm thinking Patson's going to get a hat-trick. And yet again, he just hits it at the goalkeeper. His conversion rate is actually shocking considering the amount of chances that he gets when he's on the pitch. And Milenkovic tries to get a second. You see Tammy Abraham there was fishing around for it as well. But that, I think, we'll see the players walk off in a second. Possibly. There it is. Players walk off. I don't think we're going to see a title celebration. No, we don't. But Aston Villa won the Premier League in Season 4. I'm lifting my little trophy. For those of you who have not seen this, I think I've busted it out in the Busted it out in the Borussia Dortmund save, but it's a tiny little, I don't know if you can see that, I don't know if it'll be in focus. It's a tiny little Tri-Wizard Cup from the Harry Potter Lego minifigure series. That's my trophy for when we win things. So, trophy number 3. Trophy number 2 of the season. We did indeed win the Premier League with this win. Patson Daka, Ianis Hadji, Jack Grealish, Milenkovic. a lot of the team was showing up in this game, and it was a glorious thing to see. I'm so proud of this 11 for pushing through the way that they did. We'll go back to the fixture list just to show you again. So this is it without every other competition. As you can see, take out that Liverpool game. Look at that massive green in the middle. Like, it's just like we had an average to good start to the season. For Villa, that's a very good start to the season. But for where we were in the league, we wanted to be top of the table. That's a decent start, not the best start. And then, my word, look at this run. What an incredible run that is. Genuinely astounding. And then we win the league here. So we'll quickly show you the Premier League final table. There it is. That's the table. We win by 1 point. 99 points to Liverpool's 98. It is literally, we actually lost one more game than them, but we won one more game as well. That's what did it, really. We smashed everyone else for goals scored with 109. We kept a clean sheet ratio better than Liverpool. 22 goals conceded to their 24. We were incredible. If I quickly show you the profile as well, to show you the top goal scorers and stuff. Timo Werner, 2 seasons in a row, he was incredible. 30 goals. But Patson Daka and Youssoufa Moukoko, bearing in mind, they were never playing at the same time, really. They were like, one was on the pitch, one was on the bench. 19 goals and 18 goals, that's what, 37 goals between them? 37 goals in 38 appearances for our strikers who were never playing at the same time. That's incredible. Yanis Hadji getting second in best player of the league in terms of average rating. I think we had quite a few players on this list as well, actually. Milenkovic, Daka, Moukoko, Tomori, Calabria, Metham, Tonali, Alayu. I mean, again, we'll talk about Alayu in a minute, but fantastic record here. Absolutely fantastic. Fikayo Tomori, we'll talk about as well because he definitely improved. Sandro Tonali, second on the assists ranking. Youssoufa Moukoko getting joint 4th. Someone I need to talk about is Yanis Hadji. The last 2 seasons before this, he was top of this. He was genuinely the best player when it came to assists. Absolutely incredible. Didn't even get there, though, because Sandro Tonali just turned up in this season. Player of the matches, Yanis Hadji was our best in that. And Kakir with the most clean sheets in the season, which was incredible. You can see, for the save, Man United won in the first season. Liverpool then won a double of Premier League titles, but then we broke it with our win. Fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. There's one more game I want to show you, because you're probably going to be working out at this point. But Stu, you got to the Champions League final and the FA Cup final. You've not talked about those yet. Well, I've not talked about them because, to be quite frank, I kind of forgot about the FA Cup final. But the Champions League final, you will be seeing in a moment. But the FA Cup final, I am going to show you in the same way that I showed you the final game of the season. So strap in, boys and girls. I'm going to be showing you some highlights. I'm probably going to do key highlights instead of extended highlights this time, so it's a bit quicker. But highlights, post-commentary, us versus Liverpool in the Champions League final. Spoilers, it was Liverpool we played in the Champions League final, but you're going to see exactly what happened in that game. Okay, so again, I'm going to try and block the stuff at the top of the screen so you can't tell what happened. But 12th minute, we were thinking to ourselves, this is a very scary Liverpool team. We beat them earlier in the season. We actually lost against them more recently. But we can say we're the Premier League champions, they can't. So maybe we just have that little bit of an extra edge compared to them. Maybe we do, maybe we don't. Grealish gets it into Philip Alayu here. Alayu gets it across the goal. And there is Emi Buendia, who just taps it home, makes it 1-0 in the FA Cup final at Wembley. Our second visit to Wembley in this season in a final, remember. And we just, at this point, are thinking to ourselves, maybe, just maybe, this is going to be an even better year for us, because this win would give us a domestic treble. What an incredible achievement for this 11 that would be. Alexander-Arnold whips it in here. Curtis Jones taps it in. However, the referee is having none of it. Trent was offside. The goal is disallowed. And we live to fight another day. There we go. Call back for offside. Good work. I think it's Portini. Alexander-Arnold was offside. So we then get to the second half. And Liverpool still on top. But Christopher Iyer is adjudged to have committed a foul. And I don't actually think it gets given. No, it didn't. It was a free kick in the end. Mo Salah on the wing whips it over to Szoboszlai. Szoboszlai gets through. And he actually gets it back to Villar, who gets it into Lautaro Martinez. Keeper comes out. Probably should have stayed where he was. And it is 1-1. At this point, I am not exactly thrilled with my lads, because We've worked really hard to get 1-0 ahead, and I'm starting to think it's definitely not going to happen now. Grealish gets the ball over here. Virgil kicks it to João Felix. João Felix. I keep calling João Felix. I think it's just Joe Felix, that pronunciation. Full disclosure, one of my managers at my job is Portuguese. And Patson Daka somehow forces that home. I don't know how he does that. I don't know how he does that at all. I've seen my players get in that position before and never put it in. They always hit the side netting. But Patson Daka makes it 2-0 in the 80th minute. That was the last highlight. And ladies and gentlemen, we won another trophy. We are domestic treble winners. Huzzah! What a performance from us in the FA Cup. Genuinely very happy with that. Very happy indeed. But there is one more thing to deal with, and then we will go over the players, and that is the Champions League final. So what I am going to do is pass you over to past Stu, who has already played the game and recorded his own commentary to it. So hopefully Stu from the past is going to be able to talk you through it, and hopefully we come away with a Champions League win. It's fingers crossed. Don't let me down, past Stu. Don't let me down.
Cheers for that, future Stu. Hopefully this goes the way you want it to. So we are here at the Champions League final against Borussia Dortmund, who we have of course played once this season. We played them in the UEFA Super Cup. Obviously we won the Europa League last season, so hopefully we can beat them this time. Fingers crossed. If we do beat them, it kind of blows my mind that we might actually be on for a quadruple. It blows my mind a little bit that we could be on for that. Obviously, you probably have an idea of what's happened. It's probably been spoiled at this point, what's happened. I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen. So, this is the 11 we're taking to the Champions League final. Our second of the save, of course. It's Ergin Kakir in goal. Davide Calabria at right back. Nikola Milenkovic in central defence alongside Fikayo Tomori. Jose Iyer is going to be the left back. However, we do have Cucurella on the bench if we want a more defensive option. Declan Rice and Sandro Tonali is going to be our midfield, as it has been for a good chunk of the season. Ferran Torres, Ianis Hadji and Jack Grealish is going to be the attacking midfield three, and Patson Daka up front. I have absolutely no idea what's to... Oh, we didn't give... Oh, Margate needs a squad number. Let's sort him out. Let's give him a random number, shall we? Number 60. Why not? I'm not going to lie. I have absolutely no idea how this is going to go. No idea whatsoever. I believe we have a good enough team to beat Dortmund. Whether we will or not is another matter, though. One important thing to point out is Emi Buendia actually picked up some food poisoning in the week before, so we haven't been able to put him in the starting lineup. But he is available. He is on the bench, so fingers crossed he will be able to feature at some point. Let's just try and get everyone as G'd up as possible. But here it is. Champions League final time. Jack Grealish is just going for it here. Jack Grealish goes down in the box, nothing given. It's defended, and Nonto wasn't able to get onto the end of it, but we do have an early corner for Borussia Dortmund. Gio Reyna whips it in. Be careful of that. Jonathan Tah heads it towards our goal. Gotta be careful of that. Gotta be very, very careful. Again, Dortmund are a very good team, so we cannot take them for granted. Jude Bellingham is a fantastic midfielder in FM21. If you've seen my Dortmund save on this channel as well, you will know that because he has been fantastic for us too. One of our players got left for dead there, but Jack Grealish now trying to lead a counter-attack. He has got people around him. He's got to find someone. He finds Patson Daka, and Patson Daka hits it straight at Livakovic. A little bit disappointed from Patson Daka, who was the hero of the FA Cup final. I would have expected a bit more from him there, but do you know what? It is what it is. We've had a chance. It was a good chance. We're actually better for chances at the moment against them. They've had a bit more possession than we have, but we've had the better opportunities. I am going to drop a bit of encouragement because the lads have played very, very well. Now, throw in. Moussa Barrow gets tackled, but I managed to get it out. So Jude Bellingham again. Jude Bellingham kind of sitting in the midfield area, not venturing too far from that spot. Although he is now. He's now on their wing. Whips it in. We do clear it away though. And Pedro Gonçalves, I don't know how to pronounce his name. I'm just calling him Pedro. Pedro did manage to get it, but we did get the ball back. But we give it away. Patson Daka's header gets... Oh, and Calabria's tripped Moussa Barrow. Oh, it's a really, really bad trip. Now, the only thing that could save us here is that it was a very theatrical dive. But it hasn't saved us, and it is going to be a penalty. And Calabria is going to be given a yellow card. Right, that could have been a lot worse. Okay, can Kakir be a Champions League final hero? Not at the moment, he can't. That's fine. That's okay. That's okay. It's early on. It's a penalty. We have had some good play. We still have a chance. We still have a chance in this game. Tried to get to Patson Daka. Daka couldn't quite get him behind, but the ball is now with Calabria. Gets to Milenkovic. Now Tonali going to look to try and start something. Gets to Ferran Torres. Torres gets to Calabria. Calabria is going to want to make amends. Gets it inside to Tonali. Hadji. Grealish. Jack Grealish with the shot, and it's saved by Livakovic. What an opportunity that was. We are playing some good football. We're just unlucky at the moment that we gave that penalty away. I can't have a word with Calabria yet. Yes, I can. I'm just going to pause the game. We'll just get him to calm down. Don't want to give anything else away. We're going to have a word with Tonali as well. We're going to demand some more from him. And we'll leave it at that for now. Come on, boys. We can turn this around. We've had the better of the game. Possession-wise, not so much. But we've had the better of the game. Buendia is fit again. So we are actually going to bring Buendia on. That's going to be change number one. We don't have another striker we can bring on. So we're going to have to leave Patson Daka on. He was having a poor game in the FA Cup final before he pops up with his goal. So I don't feel like we have to take him off, if I'm being completely honest. I'm going to do what we did in the FA Cup final. We're going to turn the tempo up a little bit. And that did work when we played against Liverpool. So we're going to try that. And I think we'll leave it at that for now. We'll keep an eye on Calabria. We might have to take him off. I mean, I might do this. Make those two changes. Jack Grealish tries to get it forward, but he's intercepted. At the end of the day, I said this in the Dortmund video. If we don't win the Champions League final here, it's not the end of the world. Because, actually, in this save, we've achieved everything we wanted to. By now, you should know... I thought I was going to give a penalty away there, but fortunately, the shot that they end up getting away is tame. We're going to demand some more from the players. I'm close to going to attacking, to be honest with you, because they've not impressed me to the level I expected them to. I do think we need to do something about a few of their players. Let's have a quick nose at what we've got set up for Gio Reyna. Carry on as we go, and hopefully we can try and nullify some of their play. As I was saying, it isn't the end of the world. We've just given the ball away so sloppily there. And Nonto's in. Nonto is in. Can we defend this, please, boys? Thank you. Can we get the football? No one ran towards the football there. Oh, Kikir has to make the save. We're going attacking. I've made the decision. We are going to make the final change, and we are going to actually take Jack Grealish off. He's not had the best of games, and we're going to go 2 up top. I mean, Brendia's not had a great game, but we've already brought him on as a sub. We're actually going to bring Iyer on. I keep forgetting we can play Iyer as a striker. So we're going to have him as a striker here. Yanis Hadji's going to go attacking, and he's going to come inside a little bit. And to be fair to Tonali, he's improved as the game has gone on. So hopefully, we're going to get the ball out wide. We're going to try and get the ball into these guys here, and hopefully we can make something happen. It's still only 1 goal. They are starting to get on top of us a little bit, so I'm starting to wonder how we can kind of wrestle control back of the game. I think we have to go expressive. I mean, to be fair, the more I'm changing, the more it feels like we're yeah, I'm starting to wonder whether maybe I should go back on some of these things. We're gonna do it. We're gonna do it. If we get caught in behind, we get caught in behind. But I just want us to just press a little bit more. I might even change us to... Oh, Hadji might be in here. Hadji might... just won the ball there. Get the ball off Reyna. Gaia did really well there, but Hazic managed to double up on the man. And he managed to get the ball back. Jude Bellingham now passes to Hazic. He's going to whipped in. Barrow. It's just gone over the top of both of them. Reyna, Nonto. Reyna makes it 2. It's game over. Okay. Do you know what? It is what it is. I'm a bit frustrated that we've gone down like the way that we have, but it is what it is. We deserve everything that's come our way. However, there does come a point when you kind of have to look and think we've overachieved massively in terms of how good our season has been. Let's see whether we can get 1 goal. I don't think we will. And, I mean, Hadji might get 1. No. I mean, even a Hadji special can't go in. Emre Can gets to Tete. Yeah, they're just passing it like they're bossing the ball now. Bit disappointing. I mean, the header forward, none of the strikers come back for it, which is really frustrating. You just thought, I mean, especially you would have thought Philip Alayu would be coming back for it. Right, Tonali gets it out. Alayu's on the ball. Can we get 1 goal? Just to make things interesting. Alayu just shoots straight at the goalkeeper. I mean, that sums up the game. Patson Daka's had a terrible performance. But yeah. This doesn't This is not a reflection on the save. This was a game where if we could have won it, it would have just been the perfect ending. Like, we do not need to win this game for this save to be a success. It's not like the Dortmund save where we look at it and we think, well, we've cut it a season short, therefore we have to kind of look at it in context. We have achieved everything we set out to do in this save and more, and I couldn't be happier with the boys. This doesn't have any reflection on it whatsoever. At the end of the day, I've got a soft spot for Dortmund anyway because they're my team that I used on here on YouTube, so I've got no real sadness in watching them lift the trophy. It would have been nice for us to get a second Champions League, but honestly, I think the season's been pretty good, all things considered, even without this. Anyway, that's going to do it for me here. Stu, in the future, back to you.
I told you not to let me down, Stu. I told you not to let me down. But yeah, we go. We didn't win the Champions League final. I don't know whether I said it in that video because I recorded that video a couple of days ago, actually. This is not necessarily a bad thing. We did our best in this game. We weren't necessarily outclassed, just we did some silly things. We shouldn't have given away that penalty, and Gio Reyna was fantastic. Just in an attacking sense, we struggled to get going. But we had chances, we just didn't take them. But we've already won the Champions League in this save. Winning it twice would have been brilliant, but wasn't to be. But hey, that wasn't what this season about. That wasn't what this season about. Stu, use your words. That wasn't what this season was about. This season was about winning the Premier League, and we did do that. I mean, the board are very, very happy. Why it's only an A-, I don't know. I'm taking a little bit of offence to that, but you can see some of the stats here from some of the players. I'm going to go through the players in a second, but what we're going to do first is the season review. So here we are at the season review, and as you can see, I wanted to start on the screen originally, but I thought instead of doing that, let's actually just go for it. We won a domestic treble, which is an incredible achievement. We won the biggest trophy of them all, in my opinion, for this save, which was the Premier League. We also won the FA Cup, and we also won my personal favourite, the Carabao Cup. In terms of signings we brought in, if you were watching the streams, then you will definitely have seen some of these boys already. If the game wants to load, that would be ideal. You've already seen some of these, man. We brought Patson Daka in the summer as a backup striker to Yusufa Moukoko, who has won signing of the season. The man was incredible, but he did also have patches of complete inconsistency. So actually, it's quite good seeing his output like that, because that makes me feel a bit better about the transfer. But we had a very capable substitute in Patson Daka, who got 40 goals, goal contributions, 30 goals, 10 assists in, what's that, 42 appearances altogether. Sorry, 23 starts, 19 substitute appearances. So those two together did a very, very good job. We also signed Wojciech Szczesny on loan. You won't have seen that one if you started the season with me. That one was actually in January. We got him on loan for the second half of the year, and we actually signed him on a contract because his deal was running out with Juventus. So he actually, if we were to continue for a season 5, would be joining us in that season. We also signed Chris Methven from relegated Bournemouth. If you've been watching the save, you will have seen that one. It was a perfectly capable backup for us. Perfectly capable indeed. We got him ahead of Manchester United and Barcelona, so obviously very sought after. Ferran Torres we actually signed the season before. And we actually signed him this season as well with an option to buy at the end of the year. Obviously, we're not going to be taking that up, but definitely worthwhile. Sandro Tonali. We actually wanted to sign him the season before. The season before, we signed Declan Rice instead. We changed Declan Rice's position this season to a central midfielder on defence and put Tonali as a supporting deep line playmaker. Best thing we could have done, because at the start of the season, we actually had them a different way around. We had Sandro Tonali sitting deep in a 3-man midfield as a defensive midfielder on defending deep line playmaker. Didn't work with him at all. We moved them around, so it was the 4-2-3-1 shape with those two in the middle. Worked beautifully. As you can see, 20 assists and 2 goals in 49 appearances. Was absolutely fantastic. Jose Gaio we bought in January, so he'll be new to a lot of you who were watching the streams. He was very, very good indeed. Did a job for us when he came in. 4 goals, 4 assists. Can't ask for much more. Adrian Rabiot, great backup option to have on the bench. Genuinely a great option to have. Matthias Cunha, brought him in on loan. We just wanted a bit of cover. We sent Oxlade-Chamberlain, who we'd signed on a free this season, out on loan because he just wasn't getting the game time. His ability was declining. I think he ended up trying to help. I don't know. I want to say it was Reading stay up. Obviously, he didn't play against us at the end of the season. He went to someone. We'll have a look in a second. it didn't work. He didn't have a very good time. Marco Corella is the left back we signed at the beginning of the season. Solid for us, was mostly our starting left back. Very good defensive option. And I think, other than Tammy Abraham, who we decided to bring in as we sent a youngster out on loan. We had a youngster as our third choice striker. We ended up sending him out on loan and brought in Tammy, who was kind of in Chelsea purgatory at that point. He's the only other major signing that we made, and he didn't really work. Although we got him on a cheap, because I think we only paid $13.5 million for him, and his contract wasn't very expensive. Oxlade-Chamberlain, we signed him on a free, but then we did actually loan him out to, it was Reading, and didn't exactly do a very good job there. Didn't do a good job for us either. Josh Davis is the lad that I was on about. We sent him out on loan because at that point he was a 4.5-star player. Obviously he's declined a little bit since then. He was looking like he was going to be Philip Alayu level. I'll show you Philip Alayu. I know I keep saying his name, but when you see how good Philip Alayu is, that's how good this guy was going to be. But we sent him out on loan to try and help him develop. As you can see, he's done okay. Nothing spectacular, but he's done all right. Trezeguet out on loan. The reason why Trezeguet is out on loan is because, as far as I'm concerned, unless Trezeguet asks to leave, he's never leaving the club. He scored the winning goal in our Champions League final in Season 2. That's earned him a contract for life, as far as I'm concerned. Did very, very well indeed. That's all we really need to worry about there. Other than this guy, Fabien Amissador-Faber, if we were continuing on with the save, though his development needs a bit of a look at, he would be a big player for us, in my opinion. I think he would be the next one to get Wonder Kid status, although I don't know, maybe he's only got 4-star potential now. He was a 5-star at one point, but he was looking like a very good defender, very good fullback. Maybe he still could do a job if we were to carry the save on. Obviously we're not doing that though, because we want to play FM22. Season results. Forward expectation for the Premier League, qualify for the Champions League. I think you could say we definitely did that by winning the league. Fantastic performance. The ground was practically full. Again, if we were continuing the save, we would be getting a new stadium. We'll have a look at that in a second if I can find the stuff for it. But Patson Daka was our competition top goal scorer. He was the second top goal scorer in the league as well. And as you can see, these first few results were very hit and miss. We had some good results and bad results. And then we just turned on the goddamn style and then only lost the second to last game of the season. It's kind of like the Champions League final. I don't know how we did this. I genuinely don't know. There's some fantastic results in there, and there's the odd one where we scraped through by the skin of our teeth. But I'm so proud of the team because they genuinely did turn on the style in that second half of the season. Fantastic. Champions League, reached the first knockout round. We definitely achieved that. We got to the final, in fact, and we got edged out by Borussia Dortmund, who beat us, obviously, in the UEFA Super Cup. Speaking of which, UEFA Super Cup. Finished runner-up, Dortmund beat us. Emirates FA Cup, reached the semi-final. We won the thing. Yay! Yet again, we do very, very well in a tournament. We overachieve on every single one of these, I think. I think if we click on Carabao Cup, I've got a feeling it's going to be not important, and indeed it's not, and we won it anyway because that's who we are. We're Aston Villa, and in this fictional world that I've created, we win things. That's just what Villa do. Fantastic. Moments to remember. Biggest win. This was genuinely the sweetest moment I'm sure we played this game on stream, and it was one of the sweetest moments. It was sweet revenge against Salzburg. They genuinely deserved this kicking that they got for knocking us out last season. Admittedly, it led to us winning the Europa League. That's not the point though, damn it. But I'm very, very happy with that. Match to remember. Again, I know I say this about a few games. This is one of the games where I think we genuinely won the title here. Daka and Makoko scoring both in the same game. We came from behind. We beat Liverpool at home. That is the moment where we kind of showed Liverpool and Manchester United we wanted the title. And goal of the season, I do believe we're going to be able to show you this one. It's the goal in the 38th minute with Philip Alayu. Just watch this. Just watch it. I know what goal it is as well. Watch this for a goal. This is genuinely a thing of beauty. Alayu gets it on the left wing in the middle, cuts inside, goes past a couple of men, gets to the edge of the area and just caresses it with his right foot in the back of the net. Philip Alayu did the business there. He did score a goal earlier in the game as well. I think this is what I was talking about before. It's a right wing cross to the big man at the back post. Not quite at the back post, but you get my point. Heads it in, and that got us to, I think that was 1-1 or 1-0. It was 1-0. Wonderful performance from him. Just what a finish that was from him. What a finish indeed. In terms of finances, everything went up, although the club is in a little bit of debt at this moment, I have to say. I spent a lot of money to get this Premier League win. I gambled, and thankfully in this year it did pay off. Top shirt sellers, Moukoko, Grealish, Hadji, Daka and Rabiot. I would say Daka and Rabiot are the ones I would raise questions on there, but I can understand it because Rabiot was a bit of a superstar when we signed him. Daka as well, very, very sought-after player, but finances all looking good. In terms of the team of the season, let's have a nose at this. I think this probably does about do a job. Iyer in goal, Calabria, Milenkovic, Tomori and Cucurella. I can't really argue with those. You could argue perhaps James Justin could go in. You could argue maybe Iyer did enough to get in there as well, but I think that makes perfect sense. Milenkovic, by the way, one of only a few players to actually hit 50 games in terms of starts. There's a few more who do it with substitute appearances, but the only other one who does it in starts is Declan Rice. Yanis Hadji's not far away as well. In the midfield, Tonali and Rice. They were always going to be there. They were the preferred central midfield partnership. Torres, Hadji and Iyer was the attacking midfield three. Hadji's a lock. Hadji's not getting into this team. He was our best player of the season, bar none. Pardon me. Bit of a cough there. Iyer, don't know. Jack Grealish had a decent season, so he might feel a little bit hard done by. But Philippe Iyer, 13 assists and 25 goals. Actually, do you know what? I talked myself into it. That was absolutely deserved for Philippe Iyer, actually. From 42 starts, 14 substitute appearances, the man absolutely deserves that place in the team of the season, the best 11. Ferran Torres, I think Buendia can feel a little bit hard done by on that one. And Youssoufa Moukoko, I think if we'd have started Patson Daka the same amount of times we'd played Youssoufa Moukoko, Daka would be there. I think it's a toss-up between the two, but Moukoko played more, and I think that's definitely fair. As you can see, 4-2-3-1, custom vertical tiki-taka. Basically, I'll show you what it was. It was a tiki-taka with a couple of things changed. That was all it was. As you can see, we've won a fair few things as well. I won Manager of the Month for December, January, April, and Manager of the Year. I won a domestic treble, lads. I'm not that surprised. Fans Player of the Season, of course it was going to be Yanis Hadji. Young Player of the Season, Youssoufa Moukoko. I can see the point of that, but I would personally give it to Philippe Iyer at 18 years old. I think he would deserve it. Might be 19 now, actually, thinking about it. Signing of the Season, Youssoufa Moukoko. Very few complaints from me. I might argue Sandro Tonali, but I think he definitely is worth the conversation as well. Philippe Iyer, as we mentioned, is in fact 19 years old. We saw that goal of the season. Boy, was it a beauty. Youssoufa Moukoko was our top goal scorer with 35 in all competitions. Sandro Tonali with 20 assists. Most Player of the Match awards was 13 with Yanis Hadji. Highest average rating was also Yanis Hadji. And best passes was Sandro Tonali. He's the guy who all the play went through. That doesn't exactly surprise me. In terms of record breakers of the season, Moukoko getting 5 goals in the game, definitely worthy of some recognition. I've scored a hat-trick in the Premier League as well, which, you know, quite a few players did. Most Player of the Match awards in the season was broken by Yanis Hadji. Worst discipline was Declan Rice, although no red cards, which is definitely a plus. We broke the highest transfer fee twice, I think. Sandro Tonali was one of them, over 80 million. Iyer then in January definitely hit that as well. And Amine Gouiri with £55 million, definitely bringing a lot of money into the club. And then history in the making will just say, you know, all this kind of stuff. I don't think it was the fantastic start. It was the middle. I mean, that confuses me a little bit, but it is what it is. But that's the season review. I'm just going to go over a few of the players and a few of the heroes of the save now. So we'll just have a quick nose at the squad. I'll have a look at this screen first. So Erkan Kikir, signed him in Season 2. I wouldn't change him for anyone. Even Wojciech Szczesny. Szczesny's come in. He looks like a better goalkeeper. Doesn't matter. Kikir's our starting goalkeeper. Milenkovic, in my opinion, was one of the signings of the save. Changed us at the back completely. Made us so much more defensively solid. Tomori was disappointing in the first season. We signed him last season. Didn't do very well. We actually trained him this season to get rid of a player trait, which was mark opponents tightly. And in our tactics as well, we asked him not to close down players as much, so not to press us hard. So he sat back a lot. When he sat back a lot, he was a very competent defender and actually forced his way back into the team. I was just about ready to sell him. But tight marking, I think attached to that 13 marking, just wasn't doing it for me. But once we changed it, he was alright. Declan Rice and Tonali, what can I say about these guys? Declan Rice, we signed him last season. Had a very good performance for us. Doing a lot of the donkey work. We played him a lot as a box-to-box midfielder and a deep line playmaker. He doesn't quite have the flair or the actual passing ability to do the deep line playmaker at a high level, but he's got so many other good stats that you put him in a role where he runs around a lot and the man does a great job. Sandro Tonali, on the other hand, Passing for days, vision for days, decent enough flair. What a player this guy has been. We signed him, started off really poorly, and then just kicked on as the season went on. We put him on corners and free kicks as well, so he shared the load with Yanis Hadji, who I'll get to in a moment. Brandir did a good job as well. We signed him in Season 2. I'm not going to lie, I signed him because Villa signed him in real life. I thought I've got to get at least one of those in there. But actually, he's been pretty good for us. Goals and assists are plenty. More of goal scorer than anything, which considering he's played most of the time as an actual winger, we have played him as an inside forward every now and then. I think that's pretty impressive, actually, that he scored the amount of goals that he has. But he's just been a running machine on that right-hand side. Yanis Hadji, I'm going to leave, and I'm going to go straight to Philipp Alayu, because I want to talk about Hadji last. Philipp Alayu came through in the first season's youth intake. We played him 3 times off the bench. We then played him 9 times off the bench with 1 start. I think that start was in the last game of the season, in Season 3, possibly, because I think the title run was over at that point. And then we basically made the decision to start him for a lot of games this season, and boy did he repay us. 22 starts and 9 substitute appearances, 14 goals and 7 assists. Put it another way, 21 goal contributions in 31 games. He's 19 years old, he's an English wonder kid, and I've had reports saying Gareth Southgate was looking at him in the crowd. The kid's going to be a superstar. If we carried on for another 5 years, he would be in the England team. Genuinely, what a player he has ended up becoming, and I'm so happy we've got him. Also trained at club, which was helpful for Champions League. Yusufa Makoko, he's currently injured, but had a very good season for us. It's still a wonder kid, but as you can see, 35 goals, 13 assists, 48 goal contributions in 48 games. What more can you ask for? And Houston, we signed in the second season, and honestly, this guy is kind of like, if you have a problem, throw Van Houston in there and he'll do the job for you. Genuinely has been solid as a rock. And actually, if you look at his stats, he's got 15 flair, his passing's great, his vision's great. The man plays like a playmaker in defence. It's actually, I feel like I've underutilised him, but he's very, very good. Like a genuinely good player. And I'm very, very happy with the signing. He's someone I'm going to look out for in FM22. Hopefully he develops at this level. We signed him from Standard Liège. Hopefully he'll be as good a player in FM22. Christopher Iyer, signed in Season 2, signed him as a defensive midfielder. Kind of couldn't work out where to play him. We ended up sticking with a defensive-minded midfielder, either in defensive midfield or in central midfield. Didn't really nail down a starting spot completely. First season was probably the closest he got. This season he was very much a backup. He was the vice-captain from Season 3 onwards. But halfway through the season, we actually took it off of him because we've agreed a transfer to Bayern Leverkusen part of the way through the season. So we took the vice-captaincy off of him and gave it to Yanis Hadji. Adrian Rabiot has done a great job for us coming into the squad this season. He came in as a backup and he's done the job well. A couple of goals, a few assists, mostly appearances off the bench. Just giving us that bit of energy in second half of games has been really good. Ferran Torres, again, I said we loaned him in last season. Had a decent season for us. I think we only loaned him in January as well, and he did a very, very good. Yeah, we did. So he only made 1 appearance for Man City last season. We loaned him in January, made plenty of appearances for us. Got 20 games in because of the World Cup, so everything was pushed back a little bit. And then this season hasn't actually improved, and we had him for the whole season, but he has had injuries. Wasn't as effective, but still was very good. And we've got a clause to buy him. I would be taking it up if we were doing another season. Jack Grealish. Jackie Grealish. This guy was trash in Season 2 and 3. Genuinely trash. His rating won't show it. 8-2 and... Well, actually, his last season will. But he did get goals and assists. But my word, the amount of 6.4, 6.3, 6.2s, the amount of those kind of ratings he was getting was utterly infuriating with me. But this season, he actually turned it around, and I don't really know why. Well, when we get to the tactics screen, I might have a theory about that. But as you can see, hasn't matched his first season's ratings, but it's the closest he's come. And this season, the biggest thing is, we actually didn't start him a lot. He was on the bench because Philipp Alayu was doing so well. And I think him coming off the bench changed a lot of games. There were games he came on and got assists and scored and was involved in play. And honestly, might have been the best thing we could have done. Genuinely very happy with his contributions. We were contemplating selling him this season. I ended up holding on to him. I ended up not stripping the captaincy off him like I was going to. Right decision, in my opinion. Definitely the right decision. Shaq Poke and Gatera, 2 young players who I just brought up to the starting lineup. We'll have a quick look at Patson Daka as well. Again, We brought him in to be a backup striker. He played 13 times off the bench and on the pitch. 19 goals, 2 assists in the league. And he got quite a few goals in other competitions and quite a few assists as well. Did some solid business for us. Genuinely very, very good. And then the player I was leaving to last. Yanis Hadji is deserving of a round of applause for the way that he's played in this save. If I could give him this trophy as a Man of the Match award, or as a Man of the Season, or as a Man of the Save award, whatever the hell, I'd give him all of the trophies. This guy has carried us from Season 2 onwards. We signed him in Season 2 for $28.5 million. We came into some money after our Champions League qualification. We bought him as a backup winger. We bought him as a backup right winger. We bought him and Buendia at the same time with the idea that Buendia was going to start on the right and Hadji was going to be a bench player, mainly because of his corners and free kicks. We could bring him on for those. At some point, I played him in Mazzala because he wasn't playing well out wide. So I thought, well, let's try him in the middle and see what happens. Tried him as an advanced playmaker. Tried him as a box-to-box. I played a couple of games with him as Mazzala and he just got a couple of assists and did really well. Ended the season with 10 goals, 13 assists. Had a very good time. The season after, he was a cemented member of our starting lineup. 33 starts, 2 substitute appearances, 6 goals, 18 assists. 1-8. 18 assists. Absolutely, genuinely incredible. And then this season, he hasn't done as well on the assist front, but actually goal-scoring wise, he's turned it up. There is a tactical reason for that, which I'll get into in a minute. But honestly, when you look at the other competitions he's got stuff in as well, he scores goals, he gets assists in any competition. In the continental competition as well, he is very capable indeed. The man has been absolutely incredible and genuinely, although his star rating doesn't look good, his physical and mentals aren't the best, those technicals in the Mazzala role, and indeed, as we've discovered this season, in an attacking midfielder on attack role, have carried him to another level. He has been Big Match Hadji. That is his name. Remember the name. Big Match Yanis Hadji. Absolutely incredible. Quick look at the tactics screen as well. As you can see, everyone's on holiday or, you know, just not here. They're just all deffed off basically. But I did kind of set this up to being our strongest starting 11. And I do just want to pop you two on here as well, because that would only be fair. This is our strongest starting 11. Ergkan Kakir in goal, Justin Milenkovic, Tomori and Cucurella in defence. Cucurella and Iyer are a bit of a toss-up, but Cucurella was here first. And to be honest, didn't do anything wrong. We signed Iyer just because we wanted another option. Rice and Tali in midfield. This is the way Rami played them. Central midfielder on defend and deep line playmaker on support. Those two people in those two combinations. Chef's kiss. Fantastic. Genuinely fantastic. Equally, Buendia, Hadji and Iyer. I mean, this could equally be Ferran Torres, Hadji and Grealish. It could also be Torres, Iyer, with Grealish in the middle. This could even be Torres over here, Iyer over here. It could even be Buendia here, Torres here, Grealish here. It could even be Buendia in the middle with Iyer here and Torres over here. The point I'm trying to make is it could even be Makoko over here and Torres up front. It could also be Patson Daka up front. It could also be Philip Iyer up front with Jack Grealish on the left. My point is, we've got a lot of players who can play in these 4 positions here, and it genuinely does help in terms of making sure we can freshen things up every now and then. The biggest thing we've had this season is squad depth. Our squad depth has been genuinely incredible. But I would say Buendia, Hadji, Iyer. That's our best 3 people in these roles. This is where they played their best football. But this has been a pleasure of a save to play, to be honest with you. I've genuinely really enjoyed it. But that's it. That's the save. I'm just going to have a quick look at club info. Just have a look here. As you can see, Makoko, myself and Yanis Hadji are on the favourite personnel list. And Jack Grealish is on the icons list. I don't think any of our current players are on the icon list as well. I think, no, we're not. But that is what we're rocking at the moment. And I have to say, it's been pretty cool. It's been pretty cool captain Jack Grealish, vice-captain Yanis Hadji, which was vice-captain Christopher Iyer, and before that was Tyrone Mings. I think that's probably a good place to end, because if I carry on, I'll talk for hours about this save and try and talk myself into doing a 5th season on YouTube or something daft like that. So, that's it. Football Manager 2021 is over. Aston Villa save on Twitch is over. Dortmund save on here is over, which means I'm going to be starting FM21 very, very soon. I mean, I've not even really properly thought about what save I'm going to be using. Wait, what? Oh, what's this? Oh, well. Huh. Well, there's me thinking David Moyes was doing a good job. It looks like we've got our new job for Football Manager 22 on the channel then, doesn't it? If you have enjoyed the Aston Villa videos on this channel and the save over on Twitch, then please do leave a like on this video for me and consider subscribing to this channel to see more glimpses of my Twitch content as well as my Football Manager 22 content specifically made for this channel, which I've already guessed might be in London this season for the beginning at the very least. But hopefully you have enjoyed my content on here. Please let me know on the comment section. Please let me know with likes on the video as well. Please let me know over on my Twitch, twitch.tv/StuboFM. Keep up to date on there for when I'm online. And please let me know on Twitter as well, twitter.com/StuboFM. That's the best place to interact with me. And if you've got any suggestions for what I could be doing better, please let me know. But with all of that said, thank you for being a great audience and engaging during my first ever attempt at doing YouTube on my first ever Football Manager save I've ever given this a go on. So I genuinely do appreciate it. You're all legends. You're all amazing. Thank you. I'll see you in the next video. Take care and bye-bye for now.